Okay. I'm not a teacher. I will say that. But I got something really good out of James. And without going too much into it, because all I can say is I've read the Bible multiple times now, and it's a living word. The Bible, this is the one I keep at work for patients if they want to read it. Every time you read it, you'll get something different out of it. And I have my favorite Bible books in the Bible, favorite Bible verses, just like everybody else. But James really stood out to me. My last read through, this was God or Jesus's brother on earth. Okay, this man grew up with him, with Jesus, the Almighty. If he could have the faith to know that the man that he grew up with was Jesus, I don't know who couldn't. This to me, I've often, since I read it, I have often compared James to real life nursing or whatever real life profession you're in versus the textbook, which I think is Paul. I feel like Paul had to go and set an example and set these rules and set, behaviors right that were not going right, and, almost get on to him like a dad or a brother. James said in 5 chapters, do good work so people can look at you basically and know you're a Christian. You can go out all day long and say, I have the most money in the whole world. But then when you turn over your bank account and you don't have a couple billion in there, you're lying. Anybody can lie and say, I am this person or I am that person or I believe this. But I believe that James says you shouldn't have to say it. That's how I interpret it. You shouldn't have to tell people I'm a Christian. You shouldn't have to go out and say, hey, I read the Bible. Hey, I love God. It should be in your works. It should be in your attitude. It should be in the way you speak to people. No one should have to, someone will know, hey, the light in that girl or that guy over there, there's something about them. They may not know that it's God. They may not know that it's you're being a light for Jesus and you're leading, being a fisher of men, as I really liked it said one time to me. But James it's like the sit down, shut up, and let me tell you something. Okay? He's so straightforward. And he starts out with saying, faith without accompanying good deeds in 2:26 is like, you're right. And it says, for as the body apart from the spirit is dead, so also faith apart from the works is dead. If you're not being a light, if you're not doing these things good and out in the open, then who are you doing them for? Or how can you be so sure? And then to jump back to James 2 through 4, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. This right here promises you it's going to be hard. This says, hey, wake up. It's not going to be easy. But count it as joy anyways. Because if you stay away from the things that are testing your faith, which is promise it's going to come, but you stay steadfast through that pain and through the imperfectness, you will then in turn get the perfectness, and you're lack for nothing. Stay the course. Bad days are going to come. Leave it at the altar. Give it to God. Pray about it. Let Him deal with it. That's His job. Our job is to live through and be a light, to shred the word, to get people to know who Jesus is. That's our job. I don't know it perfectly. That's why I created this channel, because I'm here to learn with you. Without all the pretty glamour in the background, and I have no makeup on my face. I'm at work at the end of the day just because this is the only quiet time I'm going to get, because if I tried to do this in my house, it would not work. It would be loud and chaotic. And I felt like this was important because this has really been on my heart, James has. You know, and then to go into the wisdom portion of it, if you look, just keep going in James 1, it says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. But I'm going to go to 6. But let him ask in faith with no doubting. For the one who doubts is like a wave in the sea that is driven and tossed in the wind. 7. For the person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is double-minded man, unstable in all ways. Let the lowly brother boast in his exaltations, and the rich in his humiliation, because like a flower the grass will pass away, and the sun rises in the scorching heat and withers the grass. But then if you go down to 12, it said, blessed is the man who remains steadfast under those trials. For when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. So this just keeps going. So this whole book just opens in chapter 1. Bam. Life sucks. It's going to be hard. You're going to be tested. But guess what? If you're steadfast and you know who loves you, you know who's going to take care of all the problems, and stay steadfast under trial, when he has stood the test, he will receive a crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. In 13, it says that God does not tempt with evil, and he himself tempts no one. All this time I've been, God's testing me today. God is trying to tempt me to see what I'm going to do. He's not. It says it right here. Right there. He just says it. It says, each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desires. We are tempting ourselves. Do you understand? Like, this blows my mind. All my life I've heard, God's testing me. God's tempting me. God's trying to see if I'm going to do the right thing. No, he ain't. No, he is not. James says it right here. He's not. You are doing it. I am doing it. We are doing it to ourselves. We are lured and enticed by the enemy and our own desires. Our flesh is winning when we feel that way, because God ain't about it. I'm going to keep going. Social injustice. James 2:10. Sorry, I have to keep my notes or I will not stay on track. So 2:19. It says not to show partiality. So this comes in and tells the story about if a man comes in and he's wearing all the really pretty things and he looks great, and you put him at a high table, but someone that doesn't have a lot of money, that's poor and is wearing rags, and you put them, oh, you can sit at my feet. God don't like that. He don't. But we're all guilty of it. I am. I know I am. He says, listen, in verse 5, chapter 2. Listen, my beloved brothers. Has not God chosen those who are poor in the world and the rich in faith as the heirs of the kingdom which he has promised to those that love him? It says all through this Bible, and I can't quote it because I'm not perfect, but it says you don't need to go to church and be wearing all your fancy clothes. We do that because of, like it said in chapter 1, it is our own desire to do those things, to put on our Sunday best. We made that up. It ain't real. It ain't nowhere in this Bible that says you got to wear the prettiest clothes you own on Sunday. I ain't found it. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. Tell me. I'm all about learning. I'm going to go to my last little thing before I run out of time. Chapter 3, sorry. This goes into telling you that not everybody should be a teacher because you're going to be judged hard. Here I am. I'm not a teacher. You can judge me if you want to. It tells me right here to be ready for it. But it says in verse 3, if we put bits into the mouths of horses so that they will obey us, we guide their whole bodies as well. Look at ships. Though they are large and driven by strong winds, they are guided by very small rudder. Wherever you will, the will of the pilot directs. So as the tongue is a small member of our bodies, it boasts of great things. How great a force it is to set ablaze by such a small fire. The tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set amongst our members, staining the whole body, setting the fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile or sea creature can be tamed, and has been tamed by mankind. But no human being can tame the tongue. It is restless evil, full of deadly poison. With it we bless our Lord and Father, and we curse people who are made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth come blessings and cursings. My brothers, these things ought not be so. Does the spring pour forth from the same opening, from fresh and salt water? No. This is like the power of speech and the importance of shutting your mouth. I wish I had that emoji. I'm new to this. I don't know how to do anything fancy on this phone. That's why I'm here. A harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. I've not been a peacemaker my whole life. I struggle with that often. And it's something I really want to work on. I've got this little saying that I've been repeating in my head is, are you going to be a burden or a blessing today? How am as Amanda Nicole going to wake up today and feel? Do I want to be a burden or a blessing? Nobody wakes up and says, I'm going to be a burden, girl. I'm going to do it. No, these children make me want to be a burden sometimes because they are a burden. My children, my family. Lord knows that we all have our difficult days. I have difficult patients, but my mouth can get me in trouble. And it's something that it's something I have to work on daily. Every single day I have to wake up and decide that. Am I perfect every day? Nope. Sure ain't. I have said cuss words. I have. As a Christian, I have said cuss words. And I have to immediately, God, please forgive me. I should not have said that. But to hear it in this text that we bless our God and curse people with the same mouth, the only thing that cannot be tamed on this planet, it blows my mind. So then it goes into chapter 4, and it says, I'm going to go back to 3:14. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above. It is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder in every vile practice. But from wisdom, from above, it's first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reasons, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. And the harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. If you get nothing else out of this today, I don't even know if people will watch this, but I know God's going to bless this and put someone on this. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth today. If someone says something to you and they come out crazy, and that ain't your problem. You ain't called to deal with them. Shut your mouth. Count to 45. Count to 45 seconds. And during that 45 seconds, God, what do you want me to say, if anything? Sometimes you can say nothing, and it has a bigger explosion to the person that's hurting you or the person that's saying something to you, or you're giving them enough time to get to say it out. I am the world's worst. My husband will be saying stuff to me, and before he can even finish this, I'm asking questions. What do you mean? Who do you say? What do you say? What? If I would have shut my mouth and listened to the whole sentence or the whole conversation, my daddy too, he'll tell you, all my questions, problems, answers probably would have been alleviated, or I'll have enough information to make guarded and more educated questions. Let's do that. Today, we need to learn to shut up. Even in Proverbs, it tells you, be quiet. And none of us can be quiet because this is this world has been created, basically, and all of these people, we're living in the enemy's world right now. Until Jesus comes back, it belongs to him, and we're supposed to do right. I get that. I know that. But let's learn to shut up. Let's learn to be quiet and listen with our ears. Let's listen with our hearts. And like it says, where is this? 4:15 just dropped up on the page. If the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As such, all boasting is evil. Easy. Easy. Be nice to one another. Live by faith and show the fruits of your faith. Know that we are here to suffer. We are here to also persevere through those trials, and the joy comes from the perseverance. Know that the wisdom from God while we're facing these challenges is essential. And if any, I'm going to shut your mouth. That was the last one. But then I'm going to end on here. This is 5:19. My brothers, if anyone amongst you wanders from the truth and someone brings them back, let them know whoever brings back a sinner from his wandering will save his soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins. So I'm going to leave you there with the Bible today. James, Jesus' brother, he's the real life version of the NCLEX. If you're a nurse, you'll understand. Paul to me I'm sorry, I take that back. I said that backwards. Paul was the NCLEX. James is the preceptor. Get in, shut up, do right, love everybody, have faith, but have acts of faith and works. Know that we're going to suffer, but know that we're not suffering alone. Just like in the Old Testament, they threw 3 in the fire and there was 4 right there with them. I believe that Jesus is all through the Old Testament without a name. Yeah. Let's just pray for those that are leading this country right now. Whether you like them, you hate them. I don't have a political affiliation to speak on. I refuse to do it. I don't like it. But regardless of how you feel about the people in office right now, they are our leaders, one nation under God. And this world needs prayer. So I invite you all to read James. Let me know if you've read it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm crazy and I am way off base here. Because I am not perfect. I did not go to theology school. I'm not a pastor. I am a mother, nurse, wife, daughter, sister, friend that loves you and is just trying to get the most out of this word that I can with as many people as I can. And this is where God's told me to do it. So right, wrong, indifferent, this is where my discernment has led me to do from the Holy Spirit that I have been baptized with. And I'm every day I seek God's face and I seek his voice, and I want to walk everybody home. I want a friend of mine today, when I was telling her about this YouTube channel, she said, we're just walking each other home. And that was so precious, Melissa. Oh my gosh, the things that woman says to me, she is a blessing from God, that woman, I promise you. But yeah, let's go out and be lights today. Let's be the light of Jesus. Let's go fish some men. Let's go talk some good sense. And let's get, if you get that sinner back, you've saved a life. Remember that. And if you have any prayer requests, put them in the comments. Like, subscribe, save. They say to do all these things on the YouTube videos, and I don't know. Do it, don't. I'm here praying for you all. And remember, you are so loved. You're so loved. A man died for you. If nobody else loves you, I do. And you are perfect. And the way God made you in his image, we are not perfect beings, but God sees us as perfect the way we were made. And it's up to us to be and strive like Jesus. I love y'all. And until next time, God bless.